Hey, witches, welcome back to the Wayward Magic podcast. If you are new here, my name is Jen. I run the Wayward Magic Academy. I'm a medium, an energy worker, and a manifestation coach. And I want to talk today about what happens when you manifest the wrong thing or you're trying to manifest your way out of a situation that's no longer aligned. So think about, have you ever manifested something and then you decided it's not really what you want? Maybe it even ends up being the total opposite of what you want. When I see this happen, people often feel like they are unable to make the right decision, present company included. And then people will end up sticking around a situation a little too long. So this is where we have guilt and self-judgment, lack of faith and fear coming in, all the makings for some serious blocked energy, by the way. And then the line of thinking we have here is something like, I manifested it, so I better stick it out. Or if it's happened a time or two or 20 before, you might also think something like, I manifest what I want and then I don't want it and I can't trust myself to make decisions anymore. So that's something I kind of work through a lot. I've seen a lot of my clients also go through the same thing. So that's why I just felt compelled to talk about this. There's not a lot of this talk in, manifestation teachings, right? We don't talk about this as much. So I want to first zoom out and tune into the higher perspective. My belief is that there was still a reason, a code, a lesson, a download, a perspective shift available to you within that manifestation that you created, or within the situation you might just trying to be manifesting your way out of. There was still something for us there. And to keep the manifestation work going, it's imperative to know when you've got your download, when you got your lesson, when you got the information, and when it's time to move on. Which this is kind of where manifestation can fall flat for people, or where they fall off the quote unquote manifestation wagon. Because this does require you knowing when you're done with a situation, a relationship, whatever, a job, whatever it may be. Knowing when you're done, it requires the big, scary, unknown, and uncomfortable decisions. True and powerful manifestation is not for the faint of heart, my friends, because it does require you to walk in faith into the unknown and to do the hard things. So yes, you can have, do all of the manifestation magic you want, but if you're not making those uncomfortable decisions that are sometimes required, then you're going to feel like the manifestation is taking forever, it's not working, it's not real. So you got it. When you're done, right? If you want to keep that train moving, when you feel done with something, let yourself be done. Give yourself the permission slip if that's what you need. This conversation has a bigger impact on our manifestations, but like I said before, I don't really see this talked about a lot. So I want to share with you a real-time example of working your way out of a manifestation while simultaneously working through some self-doubt. So here's how I'm working my way out of this. Is a manifestation I conjured up in about a week. Okay, but I was in a state of grief, heaviness. I didn't think I could hold everything I was holding. So I just made a decision and went in a completely different direction for a moment. And I have since completely changed my mind about it. But this is after having gone back and forth for the past few weeks, stay in the situation or take my leave. And every time we loop like that, the other thing that's happening is we open up about 1,000 trajectories every time you loop back and forth. This is shadow work 101. When you open all of these trajectories or think about energy, you're just adding to this pile of energy of confusion. The more you let yourself loop back and forth, the only person who can stop you, the only thing that's going to stop you from looping, if you're somebody who does that a lot, which I know many of you are, I am as well, is you deciding. So that's why I say shadow work 101 to kind of help with that. But now today I have gotten all of the perspective I need in this new situation. And I have officially declared and projected that future me is no longer in this situation. I have decided. That's all I need to do right in that moment. I made the decision. There's no more looping back and forth. I know it. The answer is go. That's step number one. What happens when we decide to go? Our minds try to solve every single potential problem that we could run into along the way by saying it's time to go. Right? So you got to stop yourself, and you got to zoom out for perspective, and then zoom back in when you start to take your steps, just one at a time. And this is the one time where I will approve of projection. Project what you want for your future and now self. And again, I don't know the rest of the details, but the conscious creator in me knows everything works in my favor no matter what. You've heard me say that before. That is a manifestation I've repeated for the past, I don't know how many years now, and is just a part of my truth now. When I first started saying it, did I believe everything worked in my favor? Absolutely not. I believed the complete opposite. But I have coded it so much, now I believe it. So the conscious creator knows everything works in my favor. I needed this perspective that I've gotten in this situation that was in my favor. I don't need to know all the details of how I'm going to change the situation or make my way back to what I really want. I just need to know what I want. I need to know what I truly desire at this point and what my next one move is, which in this case, I've already been given that. I've already gotten that download of what I can do next to support the manifestation. And for me, the sooner I take that aligned action it's asking for, the sooner my next step will fall right into my awareness like clockwork and magic. Okay. So when you are trying to manifest your way into a new situation out of an old situation, here are just some practical steps you can take. So the first thing is identify what was the lesson of this manifestation, this previous situation. Honor it as if you are receiving a diploma for being a student of life, right? Remember, I said I got perspective. I was a student in this new situation. I got perspective. I'm really clear on what I want now. Seriously, honoring and loving yourself more will push you into a lovely energy that complements manifestation. So instead of shaming the decision you made or doubting yourself, instead of giving any space for that self-doubt or shame, instead, hey, I got some serious clarity here. And to me, that's gold because I walk around confused much of the time. All right. So to me, that is abundance. That is part of the manifestation. I want to feel clear. That's why I'm trying to manifest the things I want. Right. So an example for me, why did I end up here? Like, how did we even get here? How do we go from here all the way run in the opposite direction? So my answer, as I've already shared, was I got some much needed perspective. Perfect. I feel more clear. I will collect my lesson and manifest my way to the next thing. I'm no longer going to leave space for looping, confusion, not knowing what I want next. So therefore I'm not deciding what's next. I'm just going with the collective flow, which is never a good thing if we're not being conscious, right? Step number 2, really, I mean this, give gratitude to yourself for learning this valuable lesson or the perspective shift, and gratitude to your future self for doing the hard thing, making the uncomfortable decision, stepping out of the comfort zone. A space of gratitude will also amplify your manifestation. A lot of this is mindset, and then most of the rest of it is going to be your energy. Okay. So for me, it wasn't a mistake when I'm at for a couple weeks, being totally transparent, I kept saying why do I make the decisions I make? How did I end up here? I don't even understand myself, kind of just all of that doubt and questioning. But again, today I'm deciding it wasn't a mistake. I'm not going to let my ego get away with calling it a mistake and shaming myself. I'm simply not. I will not stand for it. I used to stand for it. No more. I've done way too much work in the last 8 years. And again, I never would have gotten that perspective that I did if I didn't step into this other situation, which this clarity I now have, it feels so aligned for the first time in about 2 months since kind of going into this state of grief, from loss in my family. That is worth celebrating. Clarity leads to alignment, leads to abundance. Remember that. Clarity is a piece of that abundance pie and the manifestation pie. So give yourself gratitude, be willing to learn the lesson, tell the ego to take a back seat. It's not going to get away with calling you names anymore. The third step, that's the big scary thing, allow yourself to change. This is where you give yourself that permission slip to take your leave from the experience, situation, or manifestation. For me, I started that process today by projecting that my future self is no longer in that situation, right? I declare it, I know it. And now my next step is to take my next aligned action and to also stop bullying myself for my quote unquote mistake. That is not manifestation energy, and it will create more indecision and confusion, which then causes more stagnancy. So I know a thing or two about manifestation, my friends. I have spent the last 8 years all in on manifestation work, manifestation teachings, practice, study, experimentation, you name it. I have manifested so many things that I used to think were a complete pipe dream, and I would never, ever actually have that in my life. I never would have believed. And sometimes I think my spirit plays a little bit of tricks on me and my manifesting, by putting me in the dislike situations so that I can play the game of manifesting my way through or out of them. Instead of, being totally knocked down by life. I had to take a time out from grief. I did, but I wasn't completely knocked out. I do know what it takes to manifest the dream life. Sometimes it can be a lot to hold. So I'm not saying that I'm always perfectly 1000% manifesting all the time. Right. I go through my human experiences too, but I do know what I need to hold, and I know what it does take to manifest the dream life. I've already manifested so much of it. I just have a lot that goes into my dream life. So we're playing on the game board some more. I know also what it takes to recalibrate your energy, your heart, and your mindset when life has knocked you around a bit or a lot a bit. I understand how hard it is when you lose faith in manifestation and spirituality, in yourself, in people, in love, whatever it may be. I know that space. I see you, friends. But I also know that it is possible to pull yourself out of it. I know what it takes to change a manifestation when your mind and heart has changed. And I know what it's like to go from 0 faith to 10x abundance and all the dream things in life. This is a passion to me. It is an interest. It is a game. It is magic. It is growth. It is abundance. So when I give you all of the things I create around manifestation are all part of my toolkit, the workbooks, the mini workshops, the immersion programs, the guided worksheets, the activities. It doesn't mean you have to do all of it, but take these pieces that do resonate with you, and I invite you to experiment with them. Experiment with what I'm talking about today. Go back through the podcast. I have I have my top manifestation tips and tricks. There's at least 6 or more of those. There's a ton of manifesting content here in the podcast. And everything I say or talk about are all things that I have implemented to change my entire reality. So I mean what I say what I mean. This stuff works, especially when you take the steps and you work with them in a way that feels right for you. And I'm not telling you have to do every single thing. The mindset stuff you want to pay attention to. There's science there's all sorts of stuff. But when you work with the tools and the processes, do it in a way that feels right for you. Don't try to force something that just feels like more work or cumbersome. Do the things that complement your lifestyle. You will see your reality starting to shift. I 1,000,000% believe that. Okay. And just to throw a little invitation out there for you, if you want to take this work deeper, I do have a whole abundance reset and mastery manifestation program. There's workshops, there's courses, there's all kinds of guidebooks, there's all of the magic side of manifestation, there's book clubs, mindset work, tips, tricks, trainings. I mean, there's so much. It could keep you in a manifestation world for the next 2 years. Or if you want to work one-on-one together with me as your manifestation and mindset coach, I also have an option for that. And I'll put both links below. You guys, my clients get results, and the clients that stick with me for a longer period of time get even more results. And it's not me doing it, it's them showing up, right? But they're putting the steps in place, they're doing all of the mindset work, they're doing the scary things. And sometimes you just need a guide to meet with and connect with and keep you on track. And anyways, I have an amazing manifestation one-on-one coaching program. All of my clients that I've worked with so far have gotten amazing results. If you have any questions, if you want to know if any of this is a good fit for you, feel free to reach out at support@waywardwitchco.com. And I also have, some $5 mindset courses that are really, really powerful, or low cost guidebooks. And I make those really detailed and very step-by-step. So even the beginner can get a lot from those too. I have something for everyone, plus all of the free content around manifestation that I have here: magic, mindset, energy, all the things. So if I can support you in any way, let me know. If you put some of this into practice and you start to see things shift, I want to hear all about it. And I will see you guys or talk to you guys next time. Happy manifesting.